Dylan, there's no way you're gonna make this.
You obviously don't believe in the power of Kobe. Oh, get that out of here.
Oh,
that's right. That's right. Welcome to the BYG show, everybody. How you doing? Thank you for tuning in. Man, Mark, how are you doing, sir?
You know, Dylan, I've been struggling a lot with allergies lately, man. I think I said that the last
Who
time,
hasn't?
but it's really been killing me.
Who isn't struggling with allergies right now?
Just sitting in my house, I was just weeping. I'm like, please.
You know, I felt like the news needs to talk about that for a second over this COVID-19. That's insensitive. Sorry. No. Unbelievable, sir. No, yes, hopefully you've been able to get outside and get some sun and stop staying inside before you look like a zombie when this is all over. And it's ending soon. Don't forget that. It's going to be over soon. We're going to see each other's faces soon. But enough about all that. Because we have a show.
We did.
And it's a good show today.
It's a good show. Great show.
And we're kicking things off this amazing show by phoning a friend.
Hello?
Alright guys, so today for our phone a friend, we are calling somebody who is awesome, absolutely love them. There's somebody in the youth group who knows them better than all of us because he is their grandfather. Yes, you may have guessed it already. We are calling our friend Tony Roberts. Alright, Tony, thank you for being with us today. How this is going to work, we're just going to ask you a couple questions. One, how are you doing?
We're doing well. Margie and I are just hanging in here, and I've been read the riot act by her and Vera telling me not to go out. So I went out Monday and Tuesday, and they said don't do that, stay in. So
You went out on Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah, I had to get somebody some gas, and then yesterday I had to go pick up some medication. So I'm going to turn it over to the young people.
If you need something, you know,
Yeah, right.
we can go.
Yeah.
Especially with gas being this cheap right now. I
Yeah.
don't need to go anywhere. So
Amazing.
it's a shock. Under $2.
It really is.
Let's see. Let me ask this question. How low can you remember gas being? What's the lowest you've ever seen it?
Oh, I would say probably 30 some odd cents a gallon.
Oh my.
Something like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy. So I think it's it's 0 to negative having to pay people to take it off their hands.
I know. Man,
Crazy.
it is crazy. And so during this time of quarantine, we usually ask people how they've been handling it. Is there something you've been doing to kind of pass the time? So
Yeah, we've been as far as we've enjoyed putting a puzzle together. Margie and I did that. It was a bazooka bubble gum puzzle. It had the words bazooka all over it, and 1,000 piece.
wow. Man.
We've been watching some things on Amazon Prime, and so I've been making some phone calls to our people, kind of focusing on people who are by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe don't have anybody to check up on them. And then I've been also doing some jobs around the house that I've been putting off. So I'm actually getting quite a lot of stuff done.
A lot of projects done. I think that's happening to a lot of people. I think a lot of ours, I know, have started doing a little more yard work now that it's gotten warmer.
Yeah.
I've heard them say that. And then just I've heard a lot of dads say they've got a lot of projects needing to get done. So
Yeah. It's a good thing, as Martha Stewart would say. You think you know Martha Stewart?
I mean, she had a big scandal. That might be the big
She
thing.
did.
I don't know if they remember that or not.
Yeah, probably not.
Well, I had a question for you.
Okay.
I hang around the Gibbs a lot. So I had a question. What is it like being the grandparent of Will and Chase and Maddie? But the handful.
Yeah. Well, we were talking the other day about there are things that I remember about each of the grandchildren. Um, and so there are things I remember about Maddie and Will. For instance, Maddie used to, before, this was back to 1990 or so, 90, 90 when not 90s, it would be 2000s. And she was afraid of when Monsters Inc. came on, there was a cow, and she was afraid of that when she was little. So like, mute that and then play it,
Right.
Let's see. With Will, just, when he was little, he had a lot of teeth, and so they called him Piranha. And it's Piranha. And with Chase used to trill, so he'd go like this. Drrrr. So that's what I remember about him. And
That
kind
makes sense. That makes sense.
I miss him because we've been with them a lot and attended worship with them all. And I used to hold them during church and then go to sleep, and it's just a really wonderful experience. I appreciate you asking about that.
Now, Tony, you being a senior minister here at church, and I'm the youth minister here, we try to, we have the Senior Spring Fling, where we get our groups together. And I guess just, for people listening, I want you to talk about, I guess, kind of, how important is that, for the older members, I guess, to be around the younger.
Yeah.
We talk to ours all the time, like, it's important for you to be around older people. But what's the benefit for our older members being around younger members?
Well, first off, I would say that if we're not careful, we tend to undervalue each other and kind of overlook the fact that we can be together. And it's not the kids' fault. It's not the older people have to be reminded too of the treasure that we have. Having lived as long as we have people who are in their 90s and very active. And so if we could figure out a way to get the older people to talk and the younger people to be at least, moderately interested in what they're saying, that we'd have something there. And but I think it's so valuable because number one, God talks about generations in the Bible. And, of course, we have examples of, for instance, Jacob blessing Joseph's sons and the other sons, 12 tribes in Genesis, the last couple of 3 chapters there. And so, of course, you think about passing on information that will save people a lot of trouble. So it's very practical. So that's just some of my thoughts about that.
Now, we have been challenging our high school students to reach out to some of our older members. And obviously, that you understand how you can be understanding of how that might be uncomfortable for some of them. They're calling people they don't know at all or really well. But I guess some motivation for our students. What do you think the benefit? Like, how far will that go? What does that mean to them, or what do you think?
Well, the thing about getting us together is, I never, it didn't register me. I heard about a generation gap, but it didn't register to me till I got older. And the kids are on media. They're more savvy about, I guess, for lack of a better term, they're more streetwise. They know the things that are going on in the news in their age group. So I would tell the young people just to be aware of the fact that older people are kind of apprehensive because they don't really understand some terms that go on. But I think older people, if they're like me, they're just overjoyed when a young person talks to them. I don't know, just if the younger kids could just realize that there is that gap existing, and it's primarily, I think, probably a gap of love. And I'm talking about the the way kids talk now. Of course, the older people remember growing up in the 40s and 50s, and that was certainly a time when they had their own language. The hipsters and all that kind of thing. I would say young people just keep on, and the more times they see you, and the more times you talk to them, the more they get used to you, and they'll open up to you if you give them a chance.
Good. Well, thank you for all that, especially just the encouragement there. Now, while we have you here,
Okay,
we want to play a game.
I'm ready.
This game is called Higher or Lower. All right, so the way this one works, Mark and I are going to make a couple statements. We got two apiece. We'll make these statements saying that basic is I'm holding up 3 fingers, and is it higher or lower? You can guess.
Okay.
But it's going to be a lot harder than that right there. So,
okay.
So Mark, you want to kick us off with one?
Yeah. So higher or lower, the size of our youth group is 40 students. Higher or lower?
Higher.
That's correct.
That is correct. That's correct. We're probably around 55-ish right now, I would say. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. Depends on the day, the night, and the hour. So, all right. Higher or lower? I have worked here 5 years.
Lower.
That is lower. It's lower. It's 4 in May. 4 next month.
Yeah.
My anniversary is coming up.
Longevity.
Yes.
You get longevity pay?
We talked about that.
Yeah.
I'm beating the average right now of youth ministers. So
There you go.
Higher or lower, we have made 13 episodes of the BYG show.
I would say higher.
That's right. This man's on fire right now. It's got 3 quick. Yeah, you're right about that.
You're right.
We have uploaded 14. You're on the 15th episode.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
And I could actually go on YouTube and see it.
Yeah.
Is it on YouTube or?
All on YouTube. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Check it out.
All right. So far you're perfect. 3 for 3. We got one more. This one I'm excited about, honestly. There are 8 bathrooms in the church building. Higher or lower? There are 8 bathrooms.
I would say higher.
He's right again. Yes. There's 10 that we know of. We've counted. We tried to keep count.
There's just
10.
one hidden away. There are 10.
Now, how did I know that?
I don't know how you did.
So is it the BYG Big Show? Is that copyrighted, or if I go on YouTube, will that be the only one I see?
So we will probably be the first ones that you'll see our videos. You'll see Mark and I's faces pop up.
Okay.
There is sadly, don't know who this is, BYG show, same title, that I guess dealt with motorcycles, but I don't think they've uploaded in a while. We have recent uploads, so we'll be probably the first thing to pop up. But you, sir, went a perfect 4 for 4 in the segment of higher or lower. Good job.
Well, that's really surprising.
You
Knocked it out of the park.
You did. You really did. Well, we appreciate you, coming on here today. Any last thing you want to say to the people?
Well, I would just say to everybody, just notice other people. Keep your eyes open, and in general, keep your mouth closed and your ears open, and you'll be a lot better off.
Wow. Definitely some wise words there. Thank you for that. Hope you have a great day, and looking forward to seeing you again soon.
Yeah.
In person.
Me too.
Gotta love that Tony Roberts.
He's so wise.
So wise.
Oozing with
Gotta
wisdom.
appreciate that wisdom. That should be a lesson for all of you. Find the people older than you in life. They know some things, all right? They know some stuff. Listen, like you said. And genius, right? Man, higher or lower, I don't know if you can beat him.
Prediction master.
Some people are going to say we took it easy. We did not. I thought the bathrooms was going to get
I didn't
it.
even know how many bathrooms there were. I had to count it out.
We had to go through it. No. Oh, yes. That was good.
Yeah, that's great. Love talking to him. I thought it was cool when he mentioned he's like older people, like even myself, just want to talk to the younger guys. It's like you don't even have to bring it up. I just want to talk to you. That's like,
Yeah, he admitted it.
Yeah.
You know, I love that humility from him. Yes.
But someone we can always talk to is God, and we know that. So let's go ahead and get into our walk with God.
When we walk with the Lord.
All right, guys. So today with our walk with God, I want to just bring something to you that I kind of noticed this morning earlier when I was reading through the book of Galatians. So just randomly opened up to the book of Galatians.
Just dove right in.
I dove in to chapter 2, and I love Paul. I also love his writings. He wrote a lot of the New Testament. The Apostle Paul did, and sometimes Paul was a savage. Okay, I just want to be honest. Sometimes things he says just like to the point, direct, and it kind of cracks me up. Sometimes when I read it, and I just hear how to the point he was. He wasn't like being mean about anything. It's just he was so direct. He was like, here it is. So Galatians 2, let me set the scene. Paul is talking about how he met with the church leaders in Jerusalem. All right, so he's with the church leaders in Jerusalem. He said the Lord led him to go there. He's visiting with them, and he's talking about how he's been preaching to the Gentiles, and but at the time that was questionable when the church began because there was still that Jew and Gentile divide. Not going to get into it because I know sometimes that might get boring for some. But he's talking to these church leaders, and he says this in verse 6. It's literally in parentheses. By the way, their reputation as great leaders made no difference to me, for God has no favorites. And I don't know, I laugh
Wow.
because, obviously I believe we should appreciate our leaders of the church, that we should be appreciative and respectful to our elders because they have the role of shepherding us. The ministers here are trying to teach the members how to minister. That's technically our role, is teaching you guys how to go and minister to the world, and just being there for you. But I love how we sometimes, let me say this, we sometimes put people on these big pedestals. There are the church. The church people who are like famous. There's the church fame, right?
Yeah.
You're like, I'm Christian famous. In the Christian world, like, I'm the guy. And that sounds just so wrong. Because as we know, there's no one who is worthy of the glory of heaven. All have fallen short of the glory of heaven. All man is equal. That's like the Christian thing. We know that as Christians. Jesus died for you just as much as he died for me. He died for our leaders and these people that we put on these pedestals. And I'm not saying you can't look up to people, but I think Paul was hitting, I think this is what he was hitting at. He's like, they have this reputation of being these amazing leaders. And it's just natural for us as humans to do this, where we take people and we're like, that's the guy, that's like like I do it all the time, all right, with youth ministers. I'm like, yes, I'm a youth minister, but that guy's like a youth minister. He's like, man, he's creative. Man, he's really smart. Like, oh man, that guy is great, And Paul's like, yeah, he's cool, but God has no favorites. Makes no difference to me. And it's not that he's putting them down. He's just like, they're just like me, a man in need of grace, a person in need of grace. And so I just wanted to bring that to you guys today as we think about, who in our lives are we putting up too high? Because, typically when we put people up really high, they fall. Because they are human beings just like us. And so they're going to sin just like we do. And the person we need to put in that spot is Jesus. You might be Christian famous, but the person who should be most Christian famous is the guy who died for us, who literally the name Christian is after, for him, Christ. Jesus should be the most famous. And that's the one we should try to put in that spot. And remember, this is about loving and admiring him and glorifying him, not being like, man, love it when so-and-so does that lesson. They are amazing. And like you come for hearing a person rather than learning about and growing your heart towards Christ. I don't know, Mark, you got anything on this, man?
Before you brought this up, the way I interpreted it, was almost like they were holding it above him. It's like I'm closer to God and all that stuff. But
Unbelievers. Which I mean, if they were coming off being priest before that, they might, like there was Jewish priests, so they might have had that kind of mindset.
But no, I think what you're saying is more probably closely accurate. Where it's just people were like, they're so much better than me.
Yeah,
And
leaders.
That's probably
Awesome.
it seems accurate to me. But
I think we just got to keep our hearts in check on this, because I do it.
yeah, I do it.
I do
I do it. Yeah.
And it's not wrong to be like, man, I really enjoy someone's style of speaking, or I do love how God has given them a gift for this. Like they're very creative here. There's nothing wrong with admiring that, but it's when it's kind of like a self reflection thing. You gotta looking inward and see like, am I putting them up too high though? So like they walk in a room, I'm gonna get all like, so you're like, that's just another person.
Learning the difference between like praising and then just learning from. Because I'm a big lead by example. I learn from example, seeing it happen.
Yeah, which is good. But yeah. Right. Well, Mark,
That's the end of the show.
that's all I have, man. The end of the show.
Wow,
It's been a fun one.
it has been.
Enjoy talking to Tony.
I need to talk to him more.
Yeah, you do. He's a great guy. I love higher and lower. See, we're admiring Tony, but we're not putting him up in the spot of Jesus. Okay. Yes, guys. Thank you for tuning in today. Hope this was helpful to you with your walk with God. Hope that you enjoyed the interview with Tony and enjoyed watching him play higher or lower. What a fun game. You should play that one at home. That's a good car ride game, I think. Car ride, anytime board game, higher or lower. That's a fun one.
Yeah,
I enjoy it. I don't know.
I like it.
I get really happy about it. I don't know why.
It's so simple, but it's also it's like
So
what?
fun.
There are 10 bathrooms in the church.
What? I can go to the bathroom that many times? I'm sure.
I haven't used all of them.
Yet there's still times when I can't find an open spot. Anyways,
Oh, that's true.
that actually never happens to me here. So,
Oh,
does it happen to you?
it's happened once before.
Oh, wow. Anyways.
It's neck and neck in there.
Get out the way!
Tooth and nail.
No. Oh, well. Thank you guys for tuning in. Closing remarks, as always, very important. We love you. You know what? We just do!
Don't even know if the camera's got a good angle on that.
But, most importantly, God loves you. And there's nothing you can do to change that. Have a good day.
Amen.